Good day, good people of the internet, and welcome to a very long requested video. It's the Diaz vs. Oliver 2 breakdown. Now, this isn't just a Diaz vs. Oliver 2 breakdown, though. This is an explanation of something I like to call phase shifts, beats, and beat timing, and how they influence and all come together in Diaz vs. Oliver 2, as well as other action sequences on the show. Which, this is going to be a long video. I promise you that. It's going to be rambling, it's going to be long, it's going to be very, at times it's going to be a little monotonous, because it's a lot of explanation. And it's a lot of conversation. But the breakdown is coming, I promise you, this is it. I'll probably timestamp the breakdown in the description and in the comments. I'll put this in phases. First phase is going to be definition of phase shifts, and the definition of phase shifts in action. Don't mind the Discord notifications in the background. They happen. They're gonna be a little bothersome, but it's okay. If they get annoying, I'll shut them up. So, phase shifts. That's the first phase, describing phase shifts and phase shifts in action. Then the second phase is describing beats and beats in action. The third phase is describing beat timing, defining it, and then it's defining it in action. And applying all of this to Diaz vs. Oliver 2, which is the breakdown, is the final phase. So, without further ado, let's roll. So I've actually got a litany of videos I'm going to scroll through. I have a playlist here. As you can tell, this is my Arrow Fight Videos playlist, which I believe I've made public. At least I hope I have. I'm going to play this on mute for right now, because I want to examine and talk over this. So, this is going to be an examination first of phase shifts. Phase shifts in action are... What do you... Okay, it's not on mute. There we go. Phase shifts in action are where the phase shifts, essentially. Phases are individual stages of a sequence, individual moments in a scene, also known cinematically as beats. However, I call them phases. And any moment wherein there's a dynamic shift between these phases, any moment where a fight transitions. For example, let's see. We have phase A of this sequence, which is in the elevator. We now have a phase shift as he dives behind cover. Phase shifted. Phase shifted into the office. Long range. And phase about to shift again. And now we are in the hand-to-hand combat phase. Phases are essentially dividing segments of a sequence. They can be found in dialogue as well. Nice triangle joke. I love the martial arts here. Anyway, action sequences are much the same as dialogue sequence. I always say that good action is like good dialogue in a movie, or a TV show. Both are conversations. And a conversation involves various parties responding to one another. A conversation also has punctuation and various different changes in structure. This is another example. Notice we have phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just a very short moment, but we have 5 phases shifted. We have 5 dynamic changes in the action structure. This is like in a conversation when there is a shift in the dynamic of the conversation, where it's sort of where the subject changes, but more to the point, where the mood and the emotion changes. That is what happens here. It's the physical mood and the emotion. It's not just the emotional emotion. What? Okay. Point being, every good action sequence involves a phase shift. It's the reason that you get back and forth action sequences. For example, I'm going to go back to this particular sequence a lot because it has both audible and visual cues. So try to guess the phases here.
I found the bomb.
Okay. Oops. That's not good. I goofed. Okay. So, let's slow this down and examine each phase. Ready? We have Phase A. Phase 1. Close quarters, marked by silhouette. Phase A ends with a hard beat, a drop kick. I'll get into beats a little bit later. You can already tell that it's constantly following a forward motion, never going backwards. Now, we've entered Phase 2, Phase B here. Starts with that push kick, then the spinning hook kick. Now, we've entered Phase 2, which is up-close kickboxing. This is a 4-phase action sequence where the dynamic shifts. There was a hard beat that shifted the dynamic. Soft beat, soft beat, soft beat, soft beat. And now we have a hard beat that shifts the dynamic again. We are in Phase 3. The dynamic of the fight has changed. Think of it as a conversation when you say something that changes the dynamic. That is when a phase shifts. And we are now in Phase 4. The conversation has changed. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's go back to the other video. So I think I've explained, I believe that I have explained phase shifts well enough. So let's move on to beats. Beats are individual moments in an action sequence or a conversation that move the sequence along. Let's look at conversations or fight scenes as a line, okay? A straight line. Just imagine a straight line moving across the screen. If you can see my mouse, straight line. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Straight line. Meow. Right? A beat is anything that causes the straight line of the conversation or the fight to deviate, to change, going either up or down, sometimes backwards. Basically, a beat changes the scene. There are hard beats and there are soft beats. Hard beats are moments that fundamentally and irrevocably alter the timeline of events. For example, let's look at this Huntress fight scene, right? Actually, no, let's look at a stronger one. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Here's a really strong one. Tobias Church. Let's slow this down just so we can time out the hard and soft beats. Ready? So, Church rushes for Oliver. That's a hard beat. The fight dynamic has changed. The line has gone zoop, and it's now traveling in this path. Now traveling up above where it was before. Now, again, another rush. And soft beat. You have a parry, which technically counts as a soft beat. Anything that does not interfere with the flow of events that much, that causes it to continue along its path, is a soft beat. It progresses. Every soft beat progresses the line forwards. Every hard beat changes its orientation. So we have soft beats, and that was a hard beat. Forced church back. Therefore, the line is now down here. So now we're going forward, and hard beat. We're going up again. Because any big motion that fundamentally alters, for example, on knockdown, is a hard beat. Now we're going forward again because that's a series of non-essential exchanges. A checked kick, and a knockdown. We're going down again. We continue to go down. Oh, he's grabbed an arrow. Up again. A knockdown. Down again. Continuing along. And he's been disarmed. We're going up again. And the fight has concluded. We go up even further, and we finish. See, that is a beat timeline. A series of soft and hard beats, moments in sequence that occur to bring the scene along, either in conversation or in action. In a dialogue scene, you might see soft beats being conversation beats, hard beats being character moments, things that show emotion or develop the character. The soft beats are the questions, the exposition, the casual dialogue. The hard beats are the things that reveal who someone really is, and the hard beats in action are the beats that reveal what someone really is. So I hope that explanation was clear enough. I think let's go back to the Anarchy video, and let's break down the hard and soft beats. We have soft, soft, hard. We have a slipped strike. Soft, soft, hard. Hard again, another slip. Soft, hard. Notice a pattern here. That's beat timing, which we'll get into later. Beat timing, no. I'm not going to start yet. I told you this would be rambly. And we've entered phase 2. Phases always shift with a hard beat. Soft, hard. Soft, soft. And now hard, because the dynamic has shifted. The dynamic has completely, fundamentally changed. And again it changes. Another hard beat. And again the dynamic has changed. He's been disarmed. He's picked his weapon back up. 2 hard beats in a row. He's been forced against the wall. Another hard one. Basically, a soft beat continues the action as you think it would. It follows a logical progression. A hard beat breaks from the flow. That's why you have to have a good balance of soft and hard. See, now we've got a hard beat, soft, 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 and hard. The flow has been broken. The expectations have been subverted. So, with that in mind, now we're going to discuss beat timing, and how, ultimately, this is, I think, the most important aspect of all. Beat timing is it's a concept that really not a lot of people focus on, except for choreographers. Think of how music is in different times. It's in quarters or thirds or whatever it is. Well, beat timing and music actually relate a lot together. Beat timing is the way the soft and hard beats connect to each other. And this can be in terms of time, or in terms of spacing, or in terms of just soft to hard connection, the pattern. Let's examine this Anarchy fight again. I'll turn the music back on because this has something to do with the music here. Listen to the audio. You'll be able to tell the beat timing here, because the beat timing is like a conversation. If a dialogue scene is all soft beats, nothing gets done. If a dialogue scene is all hard beats, then it gets really annoying, because it's just constantly changing the dynamic. You never allow yourself to settle into a status quo. The same is true of action. If a sequence is all soft beats, then it's just a boring fight. And if a sequence is all hard beats, then it's just uninteresting and dull, because there's never really a status quo you can settle into, so you can be excited when it changes. I'll show you an example of that in a little bit. I know I have the audio slowed down a little bit. I'm gonna... Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Watch here. Ready? Let's go back to the beginning here, and let's slow it down just a little tiny bit. Let's turn down the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. That's 4 soft. No, that's 3 soft and 1 hard beat. And right in time as the music goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The beats of the sequence follow the beats of the music for the most part. I don't believe this was intentional. I believe Blake Neely composed it as he saw the scene. Not certain though. But the point is, the music often shapes the beats of the action and vice versa. So if you want to find the beat timing of a sequence, listen to the music. Now, here, of course, it goes a little bit nuts, because the music changes from what was originally designed thanks to an edit. Which is unfortunate, but I had to do it. And this music is annoying when slowed down, I'll admit. But now there's a lull in the music, because it's pretty much all... the beats are speeding up, so the music kind of slows down. There's usually something of an inverse relationship here. But now that is an explanation of beat timing and how it all relates. Essentially, the way that the beats are spaced with each other, the way they relate to each other, and how choreographers and directors and such will actually utilize that timing to create a sense of ebb and flow in the action. I'm going to look real quick for a fight sequence. Let's see. Where was it? Ah, right here. Diaz vs. Oliver 1 was pretty much all hard beats, as I will show you.
How?
Let's... No. So we have pretty much all hard. All fight dynamic changing. Notice every single one of these, and the fact that this doesn't have a soundtrack as well makes this very different. Every single one of these has a dynamic shift to it. It's a hard beat pretty much every move, which makes the fight less interesting. Still a good fight, I will say. It's a very entertaining fight sequence. It's well choreographed, however, you just can't get invested mentally in it because you don't have that feeling of like a change in beats. Not everything is like there's no balance of beats here. There's no effective beat spacing or timing. Instead, it's all constantly changing the dynamic. The line is all over the place. It's like a heart monitor. It's like there's no flat line here. There should be in any good action sequences. In any good action sequence, there's a point of flat line where the line of action is at least a little bit flat. It can change for sure. If it's all flat, that's boring. It's all just nothing getting done, nothing changing. Either one person dominating, or just nothing happening. However, when the line changes, when the expectations subvert, when the dynamic shifts between competitors, that is where things get really interesting. So, with that in mind, I am going to... What was I going to do? Right, of course. Video blocking country. Really? No, it's not. Coward. Anyway. Let's examine. And I'm going to... This is it. This is time for the breakdown. Let's examine how beat timing affects Diaz vs. Oliver 2. Are we prepared? Because I know I'm not. I haven't actually scripted this out. As you can tell, I've been rambling this whole time. Okay, so. This sequence begins... No. I'm going to mark this with a timestamp. So this is your timestamp. The fight is beginning now. The breakdown is beginning right here. So we have the first beat. The music swells as Oliver shoots the phone out of Diaz's hand. Even though the fight hasn't commenced, I'd consider that beat 1. We're not quite in phase 1 yet, though. Not yet. The sound of that arrow never gets unsatisfying. And now we're in for phase 1. Now listen to the soundtrack here. Heh, that face. Anyway. Listen to the beat of music here. Now, as the fight truly commences, as Diaz levels a series of hooks on Oliver and uppercuts, notice the beat timing is a mixture of soft and hard. Soft, 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 hard. Dynamic changed. Now we have entered phase 2. Grappling. Oliver initiates the grappling first. Oliver is pretty much always the one to change phases. So now we have entered the more mixed stage of the fight. As I'm sure you've noticed, in the initial stage of this fight, it was all boxing. Diaz is a boxer primarily. He levels 2 hooks on Oliver, to the body, to the head, and to the body again. As this phase progresses, we see Oliver level his own boxing assault, and notice right here, obvious stunt double, but also, watch this. As he throws this strike, as he throws this hook, or this jab rather, actually no, it's a straight. As he throws this straight, which Diaz parries, which 2-on-1, not sure why he did that, but okay. Usually it only takes 1, unless I guess the stunt double was being troublesome. Notice he covers his ear, he answers the phone. That's really, really good form. Nice job. But he drops his hands, and that's ripe to get him countered, which he almost does. Then he throws out another hook. And gets parried again. And again he gets parried. And then a back fist from Diaz. You see, parries will always open you up to strikes like that. That's just the way it is. But notice, they're boxing here. Diaz is using his mastery of parries. Now, Diaz tries to launch his own offense, see, and Oliver shoots in for a takedown. It's quite clever. It's a technique we see a lot in martial arts, in mixed martial arts, in anything really. Reactive takedowns. And Diaz kind of panics a little bit. He's not really a mixed martial artist. I mean, he kind of is. Little bit. But he panics. allowing Oliver to do this completely unrealistic throw that doesn't even work, because they both go down. Oh, that always amuses me. He executed that throw very poorly. Like, if he was going to do anything, he would have landed on his feet, like right there, just plant, land on your feet, and then throw, just yank. But no, he didn't. But Diaz uses the space that he's given to throw a meia lua de compasso. No, not a meia lua, a martello de negativa. Pardon me, my capoeira is a little rusty. So, the two both clash kicks. Look at the form on Oliver's compared to the kind of franticness of Diaz's. Notice the rotation of the hips, the hand going up. These are both body kicks aimed at each other. Look at that wide hook. Oliver is no boxer. And Diaz, of course, parries it. Throws his own wide hook. Slipped, of course. And we get into the grappling stage. Well, kind of grappling. Oliver throws his patented spinning heel kick. And we get a breakaway for a moment. And we're now in the flashier section. Starting with that spinning heel kick. We are in phase 3. The point is, these beats follow a progression. I know it's not exactly the enticing moment-by-moment breakdown here that I'm sure you wanted. I'm sure probably a lot of you are disappointed by what I have to say, or rather what I don't have to say. But ultimately, I think that it's more important to educate you folks about beat timing and about the things that make up a fight scene rather than just the techniques on display. I love breaking down techniques, and I'll do a technical breakdown for the Anarchy fight, I think, but this is not the time for it. This is showing how the fight scene works, how the ebb and flow of the action makes it a really compelling fight scene, and maybe the best finale fight on Arrow. Like, genuinely, maybe the best finale. Life Sentence is such a good episode. Anyhow. I keep revisiting this. The point is here that beat timing is what makes this scene work. The transition of phases here, transition from every phase being closed out by a hard beat right there, the reactive takedown into the throw, that is a transition between phases 1 and 2. Now we have entered phase 2, and now we're in phase 3. That was a hard beat. Yeah, this has been very rambly, but the point here is that the beat timing and the use of phase shifts and beats, hard and soft, creates this timeline of action that actually makes this sequence absolutely thrilling. So, I don't really have much more to say other than thanks for watching and letting me bore you. And just put in the comments if you want me to actually proper break down anything else instead of just rambling about beat timing. Because this is entertaining, and I've had this on my mind for a long time. But I just I don't know. Video hasn't really come out how I expected it to. So here's hoping the next one is a proper breakdown. Just let me know what you would like to see in terms of breakdowns, and I will get right on it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. And I'll turn this video off now.